This movie is based on a true story. The incredible journey of a boy named Saru, who got separated from his family as a child and find them 25 years later. The story begins in a small, dusty village somewhere in Madhya Pradesh, India. A little boy, Saru, and his elder brother Guddu are stealing coal from a moving train. They're not thieves, they're just poor, hungry kids trying to fill their stomachs. After gathering enough coal, they sell it at a small shop for a few coins. Near a restaurant, the smell of freshly made jalebis fills the air, those golden, sweet spirals glistening in syrup. Saru's eyes light up. "Brother, I want jalebi," he says softly. Guddu smiles sadly. "One day, I'll buy you all the jalebis you want," he promises. They can't afford even one today. With a little milk and a lot of hope, they return home, a small hut where they live with their mother and little sister. Their mother works hard, lifting stones at construction sites to feed them. That night, Guddu prepares to leave for work again. "Take me with you," Saru pleads. "You can't," Guddu says. "The sacks are heavy. You're too small." But Saru lifts a chair, then a bicycle, trying to prove he's strong enough. Guddu laughs and finally gives in. Together, they head to the train station. It's late. Saru slept in his brother's lap. When Guddu tries to wake him, Saru mumbles, "Let me sleep." Guddu lays him down on a bench. "Stay here. I'll be back in the morning," he says. So, half asleep, whispers, "Bring me a bird when you come back." Guddu smiles and disappears for work. Hours pass. The platform empties. Saru wakes up, alone. He looks around, calling out, "Guddu, Guddu," but no one answers. In confusion, he climbs into a train standing nearby, thinking his brother might be inside. He sits and waits, but soon he back to sleep. When he wakes, the train is moving, faster and faster. Saru panics. He screams for help, bangs on the doors, but they're locked. Days pass. The little boy, hungry and terrified, remains trapped until the train finally stops, nearly 1,600 kilometers away in Kolkata, India. When he steps out, he's surrounded by chaos, crowds speaking a language he doesn't understand. He goes to the ticket counter and begs for help, but no one can make sense of his words. Eventually, he wanders off and lies down beside a group of homeless children at the station. Late that night, some men approach, trying to take the kids away. Saru senses danger and runs. Lost, starving, and scared, he roams the streets alone. He finds a small Hindu temple and spots a statue of Goddess Durga. With trembling hands, he bows and eats the leftover offerings near her feet. The next morning, little Saru is seen walking along the railway tracks, desperately trying to find a way home. He doesn't know where he is, only he wants to see his mother and brother again. As he wanders, a woman named Noor approaches him. She seems kind, asks gently, "Where's your home, little one?" Saru replies, "Ganesh Talai," but no one in Kolkata has ever heard of that place. Noor takes him in, feeds him warm food, gives him a place to rest. For the first time in days, Saru feels safe. She tells him, "Tomorrow a man will come who can help you find your mother." But the next day, things take a strange turn. A man named Rama arrives. He inspects Saru carefully, smiling in a way that makes the boy uneasy. "You're a good boy," he says softly. "Just the kind we were looking for." Saru senses danger. His instincts that something is wrong. The moment he gets a chance, he runs, escaping into the crowded streets. Days turn into weeks. Saru now lives under the giant Howrah Bridge, surviving on scraps, haunted by memories of his mother breaking stones and of Guddu's laughter echoing in his mind. He's just 1,600 kilometers away from his real home, yet completely lost in a world that doesn't understand him. 2 months pass. One rainy morning, Saru sits outside a cafe, watching a boy inside sipping coffee. Curious, he copies his every move. The boy notices him, steps out, and offers food. Then, sensing Saru needs help, he takes him to the police station. There, officers try to question him. "Where are you from?" they ask. Saru replies, "Ganesh Talai," but no one knows such a place. "What's your mother's name?" they ask. Saru lowers his head. He can't remember clearly. He calls her May, but that's all he knows. Despite their efforts, The police can't trace his home, so they send him to an orphanage. 3 long months pass there. One day, a kind woman named Mrs. Sood arrives. She tells Saru, "We've searched everywhere, put your story in the newspapers, but no one came forward." Her voice softens. "There's a loving couple in Australia who wish to adopt you. You'll have a new home, a family." Saru hesitates. "But I want my real mother in Gadu." Mrs. Sood smiles sadly. "We tried, son. Now it's time for a new beginning." Soon, Saru begins to learn English and manners, preparing for a life far away. Then, one day, he boarded a plane, leaving India behind. In Australia, he's greeted by John and Sue Brearley, the couple who adopt him. Their eyes light up with warmth as they embrace him. For Saru, it feels like stepping into another world, from a mud hut to a home filled with love, light, and safety. But even as he smiles, deep inside, he feels something missing, the sound of his mother's voice, his brother's laughter. And though his new mother, Sue, assures him, "I know your journey wasn't easy, my boy," Saru silently wonders, "Will I ever find my way back home?" Sue looks at young Saru with gentle eyes and says, "You don't have to tell me anything now, but one day you will." Slowly, Saru begins to adapt, learning their language, their habits, their way of life. Soon, he grows comfortable with his new parents, John and Sue Brearley, who love him as their own son. They give him everything he needs: safety, warmth, and love, things he once only dreamed. A year later, John and Sue adopt another boy. But this child, troubled and restless, finds it hard to adjust. He often harms himself, lost in his own pain. The Brearleys try their best to help him, but his darkness runs deep. One night, Saru finds Sue crying quietly. Without a word, he hugs her tightly. For the first time, she feels that he truly accepts her as his mother. Years and years passed. Saru grows into a young man, kind and intelligent. He moves to Melbourne to study hotel management. There, he meets his adoptive brother again, but their bond remains distant. At college, during an introductory class, each student talks about their dreams. When it's his turn, Saru says he wants to open his own hotel someday. He also mentions he's originally from India, near Calcutta, he adds hesitantly. Later, at a house party filled with Indian students, the smell of spicy food and sweets fills the air. On the table lies a plate of jalebis. The golden swirls take him back in time, to that moment when he had begged Gadu for one. His brother's promise echoes in his heart. "One day, I'll buy you all the jalebis you want." Tears well up in Saru's eyes. For years, he had buried those memories, but tonight they flood back. He tells his friends, "I'm not from Calcutta. I got lost on a train when I was a kid. I never found my family again." A curious student asks, "How long were you on that train?" 2 or 3 days, Saru replies softly. They ask the name of his village. He says Ganesh Talai, but even he's unsure if he's pronouncing it right. Time and distance have blurred everything, even his mother tongue. One of them suggests, "If you remember the Howrah Bridge, maybe we can calculate how far you traveled and trace your village on the map." Another student introduces him to Google Earth. With this, she says, "You can search anywhere in the world." Saru's heart races with hope, but he stays silent. He's afraid to dream again. He leaves the party quietly, lost in thought. Among the students is a kind girl named Lucy. The two grow close, sharing warmth and affection. But as time passes, Saru's thoughts drift more and more toward his lost family. He begins searching obsessively on Google Earth, tracing train routes, distances, and landmarks, trying to find Ganesh Talai. Days become months, then years. Every night, he stares at the screen, scrolling through endless railway lines, landscapes, and memories. 3 years pass like this. Though Lucy loves him deeply, Saru drifts away, haunted by ghosts of his past. One night, he tells her, "You deserve someone better. I can't move on until I find them." Their hearts break, but she understands. Saru's journey to home has begun once again. Months later, Saru and Lucy cross paths again, inside a mall. Their eyes meet, and all the distance between them melts away. Lucy admits softly, I've missed you. Saru smiles faintly. The bond they once had quietly rekindles, and soon they grow close again. Lucy tells him, "You should go back to your mother. She needs you." Her words awaken something deep inside him. When Saru visits his adoptive mother, Sue, he finds her unwell. He decides to stay by her side. For years, he had believed Sue adopted him because she couldn't have children. But this time, she reveals the truth. "I could have had children," Sue says gently. "But your father and I chose adoption because there are so many children in the world who need love, who need a home. We wanted to make a difference." She pauses, her eyes moist. "When I was a little girl, my father drank too much. He wasn't kind. I used to hide and pray for the earth to swallow me. And one day, I saw a vision, a skinned child standing. I didn't know who he was, but I felt that child would bring peace to my life. Years later, you and your brother came to us, and everything changed." Her voice trembles. "But lately, you've drifted away. I need you, Saru." For the first time, Saru truly understands her, the depth of her love and the strength of her choices. He decides it's time to give her the son she deserves and to find the mother he lost long ago. Fueled with new determination, he opens Google Earth once more. He zooms through endless landscapes, scanning India inch by inch. The curves of rivers, the shape of valleys, the railway tracks burned into his memory. Then one night he sees something, a water tower, a build from stone, an open area, the spot where his mother once broke stones for a living. His heart races. He follows the trail, and there it is. His village. Ganesh Talai. It's real. It's been waiting for him all along. He learns its very small village in Khandava city belongs to Madhya Pradesh state. Overwhelmed, he tells Lucy and his adoptive parents. They cry with joy and urge him to go, to finish what began 25 years ago. Soon, Saru boards a flight to India. When he arrives in Khandava, the world feels both familiar and foreign. He walks through narrow, dusty lanes, following the echoes of his childhood laughter. Every turn, every wall, every tree whispers his name. Finally, he reaches the broken remains of his old home. The roof is gone, the walls faded, but the memories come rushing back. He asks around, but few understand his words. He has forgotten language. Just when he begins to lose hope, a man who speaks English appears. Saru tells him his name, his siblings, and his mother's. The man listens quietly, then walks away. Minutes later, he returns, telling for Saru to follow. Saru turns, and there she is, an old woman, weak, walking slowly toward him. Her eyes, the same eyes that once searched the earth for her lost little boy. It's his mother. They stand still for a moment, the world fading around them. Then she reaches out, trembling, and touches his face. Tears fall as Saru whispers, "I'm home." After 25 long years, the boy who lost everything finally found his way back. Without a word, he runs to her and hugs her tightly. Both cry endlessly, years of pain melting into that one embrace. His mother tells him she never left the village because deep inside, she always believed her lost son would return one day. Nearby stands his sister, grown up now, who also breaks into tears and runs to hug her brother. But when Saru asks about his elder brother Guddu, his mother's eyes fill with tears. She tells him the truth. The night Saru went missing, that same night, Guddu was killed in a train accident. In one tragic night, the mother had lost both her sons, one to death, and one to the endless distance of the world. Saru's heart shatters hearing this, but finally, prayer's been answered. 25 years later, he has come back, not as the lost boy Su, but as Shu, his real name, meaning lion. Overwhelmed, he calls his adoptive parents in Australia. Through tears, he says, "I found my family, but that doesn't change anything. You'll always be my mom and dad." His adoptive parents cry with pride and love. Before leaving India, Saru visits every corner of his childhood. The dusty paths he once ran with Guddu, the railway station where his journey began, and the home that now stands silent but full of memories. Every step feels like walking through time. The film then shows real-life footage, the actual Saru meeting both his mothers. His Australian parents, John and Sue Brearley, travel to India and meet Saru's biological mother. She hugs them tightly, blessing them for giving her lost son a life she could only dream of. And that's the true story of Lion, a story not just about finding family, but about love that crosses oceans. The real heroes are John and Sue, who could have had children of their own, but instead choose to adopt, giving a lost boy a home, a name, and a future. If everyone in the world had hearts like theirs, this planet would be nothing less than heaven. Because what they did wasn't an act of charity, it was an act of pure, divine love. This is Lion, a tale of hope, destiny, and the unbreakable bond between a mother and her child. Thanks for watching. Hope you have enjoyed this. See you in next amazing video. Till then, take care and best wishes. But don't forget to like and subscribe.